Gordon McClure, the chief electoral officer of Alberta, referred Mitch Sylvester's question specifically, do you agree that Alberta should become a sovereign country and cease to be a province of Canada, to the court to determine whether that question is unconstitutional and whether it offends various provisions of the Charter and Section 35(1) of the Constitution Act, right? It's a pretty silly application. You know, we're talking about getting signatures on a petition. How does that threaten anybody's rights? How does that offend the treaty right? You know, getting signatures on a petition, because that's all we're talking about doing, right? So the whole application is silly, but, you know, obviously they're trying to delay. They put forward to the court, oh my goodness, we are, well, the electoral officer takes no position with regard to this application because he's objective and unbiased. We think there should be 2 amicus curiae appointed. We've selected a lawyer from the Reynolds Murph firm and a university professor from the University of Alberta. And we should have a 2-week period of advertising so that we can have interveners from all over the province join into this dogfight over nothing, right? So that's what they're trying to do, is they're just basically trying to tie us up in red tape and, and prevent us from moving forward. I was actually pleased to see that Premier Smith and Mickey Amory came out today and announced that they think that the electoral officer should withdraw his question to the court because it's anti-democratic and flies in the face of the intention of the legislature to allow Albertans to have a say on issues like this. But again, from us, I liked it. I'm a litigator, so it's like, oh, don't throw me in that briar patch. Oh, I hate being in a courtroom. Don't make me argue constitutional law. I'm really no good at it after 35 years and winning cases all the way to the Supreme Court and back. Don't send me to a courtroom, right? So we find that aspect of it kind of amusing. But, think about how dumb that is, right? Like, oh, well, does asking a question or asking your fellow citizens to sign a petition to have a question on a referendum ballot offend the constitutionally protected rights of another citizen? How the hell could that offend anybody else's constitutionally protected rights? How does that offend a treaty right?
It sounds like something a leftist would say, like Lukasik.
Yeah, though. It has nothing to do with treaty rights. Treaty rights aren't even engaged until, we actually get all of the signatures that we need. We have a referendum and the majority of citizens vote yes. And the government of Alberta decides to do something about it. Because after the equalization referendum, we saw how good the government of Alberta is at ignoring the clear wishes of the majority of its citizens in and around, a matter like equalization. They've done nothing about it. So, it wouldn't be until the government of Alberta decided to start negotiating with Canada over independence, and then in the context of that, decided to ignore Aboriginal people and say, screw you, we don't need to consult with you, we don't need to talk to you, we're going to treat you like it, we're going to treat you like it's 1990 all over again and not talk to you anymore, just like we did before Jeff Rath started beating us up and winning all those cases against us in court. We'll just roll the clock back 50 years and that's what we're going to do. At that point, people could say, yeah, that's unconstitutional and there should be a remedy. But to tell people that simply, wanting to get signatures on a petition to ask a question offends the Constitution. The very fact that they're doing this offends our constitutional rights to freedom of expression, democratic rights, freedom of assembly, and so on.
So our democratic right to have a citizen-led petition just happens to be on a question that may interact with the Constitution once it's fully fleshed out. But
and what's so stupid? If you look at the act and if you look at the form, right, that you fill out, is this a constitutional question or a non-constitutional question, right? Clearly this is a constitutional question, right?
Yeah.
And, and we're moving forward accordingly. But how can asking a constitutional question be unconstitutional? I'm still trying to get my head around it. Eva Chipiuk and I have been working on it all afternoon. And we've actually, to be quite honest, we've been having a lot of fun with it because we actually think that it's a pretty silly position for them to put forward. And I really appreciate actually the opportunity that they've now given us to be able to talk about this for the next month, as to why it is that we need to be independent so that we can have a constitution that will prevent left-wing bureaucrats like Gordon McClure, playing these silly games, in a manner that completely disrespects the democratic rights of citizens of Alberta.